Katie here, and today I'm going to be doing the BTS book tag. So I was tagged to do this video by the lovely Yvette. This is her original tag that she created, so I will leave a link to her video in the description. Please check out her wonderful videos. She is actually one of the reasons why I decided to search up BTS in the first place. So I do hold her responsible for this downward spiral that I've gone on. So BTS, yeah, something I didn't expect to like, but I do. A lot. It's really weird because I generally don't get into music fandoms that much. There are a lot of bands that I really love, especially ones from when I was younger that are still going now. And whilst I really love them a lot, I never really got into band fandoms. So it's kind of weird for me to be dragged in to a band fandom now. So the questions in this tag, there are 10 book related questions, and there are also 10 BTS related questions as well. Let me start with the book questions. So the first one is Namjoon, a leader-like character that loves his friends and family. For this one, I have picked Julian from the Dark Artificers series. I've chosen him because he is fiercely loyal and protective over his family and his friends as well. He would literally do anything for them, and he takes on a strong leadership role because of that. He was definitely the first character that came to mind. So the second one is Jin, a young person who is basically a 40-year-old dad. The first character that came to mind for me with this one is Ganzi from the Raven Cycle series, because throughout the series they do make a lot of jokes about him being a dad. He is definitely an old soul trapped in a young body. So Ganzi is one of the more typical dad-like characters that I can think of. So number 3 is V, a multi-talented character due to the fact that V can sing, dance and act. I mean, he's just everything really, isn't he? So I actually struggled finding a character for this one. My mind just went completely blank, but I have 2 really that came to mind. The first one is Jem Carstairs, due to the fact that not only is he a top-class demon slayer, he can also play the violin exceptionally well. The second character that I thought of is Ginny Weasley, because she is so badass when it comes to doing spells, and she's amazing at Quidditch as well. So she is also a wonderfully talented character. So they are the first 2 that I thought of. So the fourth one is Jimin, a character who can go from super funny and adorable to incredibly charming in 1.2 seconds. I've actually picked the same character as Yvette for this one, and it is Will Herondale, because there is definitely that 2 sides to his character. He can be funny and dorky and cute, and then he can just turn incredibly charming. So yeah, I think Will is the right character for that one. Number 5 is Jungkook, a baby character who is underestimated. For this one I have gone for Wylan from Six of Crows. He is one of the youngest among the main characters, and at first I do think that he's not really cut out for the job, and even though he's underestimated a lot, he really steps up when he has to. He can definitely be a badass when he needs to be. Number 6 is J-Hope, a character that is bursting with energy and is always in a good mood. Literal sunshine. So for this one I have picked the Weasley twins, because throughout the Harry Potter books they are always bursting with energy. I'm not going to mention what happens in the last book because I refuse to acknowledge that, but most of the time they are the more happy and fun side of these books. Number 7 is Sugar, a character that seems hard on the outside, but in reality is super sensitive. For this one, I couldn't choose between these 2 characters, so I put them both in. And the first one is Baz Pitch from Carry On. He always acts like this cold-hearted person, but in reality, he's completely different from that. And the second character is Ronan Lynch from the Raven Cycle. He is another character that definitely tries to act hard on the outside, but there's so much more about him once you get to know him, and I love that about both of these characters. So yeah, I had to include the 2 of them. Number 8 is Wings Album, a book that you connected with on a spiritual level and you don't think you'll ever forget. There are so many books that I have connected with on a spiritual level. Obviously the first thing that I think of when answering questions like this is Harry Potter. That needs no explanation in itself, so I'm going to go for the other book that I always think of whenever anyone asks me about favourite books, and that is Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. I've said this several times, but this is the book that made me start my blog. It made me want to start talking about books online with other people, because it's just one of those stories that really made me think, and I wanted to praise it in every way that I could. So this one really did have a huge impact on my life. Number 9 is The Most Beautiful Moments in Life, Young Forever album, and it is a book that reminds you of your childhood. And you can't say Harry Potter, because let's face it, most of us would say Harry Potter. So again, for this one, I have 2. The first one is Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging by Louise Renison, and the second one is Jinx by Meg Cabot. Both of these authors defined my childhood. Harry Potter was the big book series that I read as a kid, but throughout my teens, it was these 2 authors whose books I just completely adored. I miss those funny, light-hearted books that I used to read as a teenager. So the last one, number 10, is Big Hit Entertainment, a book that isn't popular but you love and want other people to know about. So the book that I have chosen is The Foxhole Court by Nora Sakavik. This is the first book in the All for the Game series. It has quite a big following online now. The only reason that I heard of it was because people kept talking about it on Tumblr. So although it's got popularity there, it's still a self-published book that I don't see talked about in the mainstream blogging and booktubing world, but it's got such incredible characters, and even though it's self-published, I really think this is a series that people should pick up because it's just such good and powerful storytelling. But as always, whenever I talk about this book, I do warn people who haven't read it that it is very dark. There are a lot of trigger warnings for this story as well, so anyone that does want to read it has to be very sure that they'd be okay reading it, but it really is a great story. So that is it for the book related questions. If you are just a bookworm watching this video and you have no idea who BTS are and no interest in K-pop, then you don't have to watch the other 10 questions that I'm about to answer, but feel free to carry on if you would like. So the first question is, who is your bias? My bias in BTS is Jin. You know, they say that your bias chooses you instead of you choosing your bias. And I think that's definitely the case, because thinking about it, I honestly think I'd choose Suga or Namjoon. I have no idea how Jin happened. I honestly don't know how he became my bias, but he did. I think I saw a lot more pictures of him before I saw the other members, so he stood out to me as the most memorable because of that. And then when I started watching some of their videos, it was his personality that just really stood out to me, because he's just very weird sometimes. I just appreciate him a lot. It also could have something to do with the fact that he did have pink hair during the Blood, Sweat and Tears era, and I really love pink hair, like, a lot. Number 2 is, who was your bias wrecker? It has to be Namjoon, because he came really close to being my bias. In fact, he might have been my bias for maybe a couple of days when I was first getting into BTS. He's just such a nice person, and I love the way he talks about the world around him. He's just so intelligent and lovely, and he has a dimple. And I really like dimples. Number 3 is, what is your favourite BTS song? I would say that my favourite song is Run. Whilst I really love the more upbeat and fiery songs, I think Run has a great story behind it, and I just connected with that one. Number 4 is, what is your favourite music video? And for this, I am also going to say Run. I love the choreography that BTS have, and the dancing in their videos is always really great. But again, Run tells more of a story, and I love the way that it looks and the way it was shot. So I think that one is always going to be my favourite video. I will say though that my favourite, more choreographed video is Dope. So number 5 is, how did you discover BTS? It was Yvette, the creator of this tag. So I've been subscribed to Yvette's videos for over a year now. I originally started watching her Shadowhunters videos, but then I noticed that she started making more K-pop related videos, and I saw that she did a few BTS videos, and I had seen BTS trend on Tumblr quite a lot. So because she'd started making videos about them, I finally decided to actually search them up to see what they were about. Honestly, I just wanted to know their names, because they were appearing on my dash more often. I wanted to know who I was seeing, and it all went downhill from there, really. I actually started watching their Bangtan Bombs before I started watching their music videos, so I got to see a few of these videos where they just mess around behind the scenes, and that made me really like their personalities. So then that was when I decided to start watching their music videos and listening to their songs, and yeah, I just ended up really liking them. It happened very quickly. I went downhill rapidly in the space of about 3 days. I don't know what happened. K-pop was always something that I honestly never thought I'd get into. I'd searched up a couple of groups before because of other people talking about them, but it was a genre of music that I'd never listened to before and I didn't think I'd be interested. So the fact that BTS ended up one of my favourite groups is just a complete surprise to me. The first video of theirs that really stood out to me was their dance practice for War of Hormone, and it's the more light-hearted version where they just have fun with it. And it was seeing that just made me think, yeah, I want to see more of these boys. But I really would not have searched them up when I did if it hadn't have been for Yvette making videos. So number 6 is, what is your favourite moment in a TV show or reality show? Or just favourite video of them in general. What I love about BTS is they do a lot of variety shows, so you get to see a lot of their personalities. It's very difficult to pick a favourite moment though, because I have a lot of favourite moments. One of them is the dance practice of War Hormone, because that's what dragged me in the first place. Another one is the English time video that they did on the plane. If that isn't one of the cutest videos I've ever seen, honestly, it's so adorable. And another one that sticks out to me is one of Jin's Eat Jin videos. The one where Namjoon walks in on him eating and generally being weird. Honestly, there are just so many funny moments. I could talk about them all day, so I'll just stop now. Question number 7 is, why do you love them? I think music-wise, the reason why I love them is because I was really getting bored of Western music. The music that we have here in the charts in the UK, and also the popular music in America, it all seems to be the same sort of stuff. There isn't that much variety in our charts over here, and I'm someone who doesn't really like one specific genre. I like a mixture of all different things. So I think that's the reason that I started liking BTS's music and K-pop in general, is that they have a good mix of genres. With a BTS album, it's not all one type of music. It varies from song to song. Each song is a different style, whereas artists over here tend to pick a lane and stay in it. So I think music-wise, that's why I really like BTS. Personality-wise though, I just love who they are as people. They seem so aware of the issues going on around them, and they use that and what they've been through as a way to tell stories in their music, and I just really appreciate that about them. So number 8 is, which BTS album is your favourite? My favourite album is The Most Beautiful Moment in Life Young Forever, because it has a lot of my favourite songs on it. I really love Wings, but I do think The Most Beautiful Moment in Life Young Forever takes the top spot for me. I don't actually own that album yet, but I will at some point. Number 9 is, do you have any BTS merchandise? I have the You Never Walk Alone album, which was my first K-pop album. The photo book for this is super pretty. I have my little standing figure as well that came with the pre-order. This is adorable. That's all I have at the moment because I am very poor and merchandise is very expensive. My sister does have a Rat Monster sweatshirt though, which I do steal occasionally, so technically that counts. I do plan on getting more merch if I can. I really want a light stick. Also in this question is, have you ever been to a BTS concert? I live in Europe, so that's pretty self-explanatory. But seriously though, even if they did come to Europe, I wouldn't be able to afford to go. I can never afford concerts because tickets are expensive, and so is travelling down to London from where I am. Concerts are like a warm, cosy house, and I'm on the outside in the rain, looking through the window at all the people having fun. So the final question, number 10, what is your favourite live performance by BTS? So my favourite song of theirs to see performed live is Fire, because the choreography for this song is so amazing, and every time they perform it on stage, it's just so lit. They always have a bunch of backup dancers as well that come out of nowhere towards the end of the song. It just looks so incredible. My favourite live performance of it was from Mama 2016, and then they did Blood, Sweat and Tears and Fire. That whole performance, oh my god. So yeah, I love that performance very much. There is a bonus question as well. Which member do you think has the biggest difference in their personality versus their stage presence? For me, I can't really choose between Jimin and J-Hope because they both act very different when they're performing compared to when they're off stage, especially because Jimin is so shy off stage. But then when he's on stage performing, he is just a completely different person. So I would say that Jimin and J-Hope probably have the most difference between being on stage and being off stage. So that is all the questions in the BTS book tag. A huge thank you to Yvette for creating this tag and for tagging me to do it. I had so much fun with this. So I am tagging my best friend Rachel to do this because I ended up dragging her down with me, and now she is also complete trash for BTS. And it's my fault. Aside from that, I really don't have any other K-pop friends. So please, anyone who wants to do this video, feel free to do so. I would love to see your answers, so if you do decide to do the tag, then let me know in the comments. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my answers, and if you're not really interested in BTS but watched this video anyway, then I hope you're a little bit more interested now, because that's my evil plan. To suck you all in. If you are a fan of BTS, then please tell me your bias, or just tell me your K-pop biases in general down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!